to Who Watches, a superhero's journey podcast special. This week we watched Thor Ragnarok, and this is our spoiler-filled review / discussion. My name is Carl Freemerman, and with me is my co-host Brian Shores.
Well, I don't get to say my own name.
Not this time, Brian.
Oh, fair enough.
Because I just read it, okay?
All right.
It's too late.
All right.
Where can we find you on Twitter, Brian?
Doesn't. Oh, don't you want to say? No.
Uh-huh.
You can find me at that Brian. It's at THATBRIEN.
And you can find me at Carl Freemerman. That's CarlFreemerman. You can find us on Twitter at Superhero Journey, no E in super. And you can write to us at thesuperheroesjourney@gmail.com, where heroes is plural, not possessive.
Yep.
So let's get into it. Thor Ragnarok. Let's start with, we do full spoilers, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Let's start with just a little basic, non-spoilery, and then we'll go
Okay.
crazy.
Actually, I want to start with something even before that.
Uh-huh.
Okay, just to clue our listeners into something. Neither of us actually know each other's thoughts on this movie.
Yeah,
Like-
we didn't see this together,
Yeah.
so we didn't talk about it yet.
Yeah, so, Carl, I think, has a vague understanding of where I'm at with this. I have no idea what Carl thought. And that's purposeful. So I'm just as excited and interested as you guys to find out.
So, do you want me to give my initial thoughts first, or do you want to go?
Oh, I want your initial
You want my
thoughts
initial
first.
thoughts?
Yeah.
All right, how do I describe this? The movie was it was okay.
Yeah.
It was
Okay. Okay, so yeah, I thought this could have gone a couple ways, where either we were going to agree or we were going to be, just kind of yelling at each other for a while. I think we agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brian told me brief initial stuff, and I wasn't sure what to think about it. And now that I've seen it, I'm like, yeah, I sort of see that.
Yeah.
So, okay. It's not a bad movie.
No.
In fact, I would say it's good. It's entertaining.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe it's sort of my expectations, sort of my fandom that maybe it makes me feel this way. The movie, how do I say this? It's always a joke.
Yeah.
And it's really funny a lot of
Yeah.
times. I'm not going to say it's not a funny movie. It's real funny.
Yeah. I would say, though, that at about the halfway point, almost exactly the halfway point, I thought the jokes started to get in the way.
They're okay. There's a few jokes in the movie that I could definitely say, okay, I that bothered me. That got in the way.
Was one of them when Thor got hit in the head with the ball he threw? Because that was a turning point for me.
No. Okay, and we're not gonna do spoilers. That
wasn't a spoiler.
It's not a spoiler.
Thor threw a ball. That's not
That's
a
true.
spoiler.
That wasn't it.
This is going to ruin the plot for
You're
anyone.
right. That's true. But let's talk briefly. Okay, as far as plot goes, it's a pretty simple story. There's not much to it.
Yeah. And I would say that was my biggest issue with the movie is, and this is something I've tried to explain to Carl a few times. My interest in these movies really just comes down to the story. I don't really care about the effects, or I can forgive a lot of bad acting as long as there's something interesting about the story. And there wasn't a whole lot of one.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
It's more of like a fun romp adventure thing, and
it is a good way to kill 2 hours.
Yeah, and then maybe I think it's not the type of movie that I like, right? Because it's more akin to something like, let's say, Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
Right, but
it's
funnier, superheroes instead of car action, and it's like a nonstop ride, and the story isn't really overly important. A lot of things necessarily aren't that serious happening. It's and I don't go to watch those movies.
Yeah.
So that's probably one of the things that's bugging me about this. I feel like maybe I'm looking at reactions, the reviews are mostly good. It's very high your score on Rotten Tomatoes. Not to say that means it's excellent, but most people like this movie.
Yeah.
I've watched a couple other YouTube reviews and read things, and people seem to really like this movie.
I think,
and I feel like I watched it wrong for some reason.
See, that's the thing, though. I don't think you did. And I'm not saying that they did either. Because you watch the movie in the best way for you personally to enjoy it. Mm-hmm. So if they watched it and they loved it, that's great. They watched it right, and they got out of it everything they needed to. You and I watching it and getting out of it like, that was really okay. Yeah. I'm glad I saw that. For now, I look forward to not thinking about this until I have to watch another movie with Thor for background or something like that.
I feel like I definitely need to watch it again, because when I'm seeing other people's reactions, I'm like, I don't know, was there something about it that night? Like, I had a few drinks before. Yeah. Maybe that was a problem. Yeah. I don't know. I don't usually do that before seeing a movie. Yeah.
Primarily because Carl is 18 years old. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about things.
Non-spoilery.
No. Okay, characters. Right?
Characters, sure. Let's start with the most wasted character.
Who's the most wasted character?
Actually, I think there's a few really wasted characters. I was gonna say Hela, but then I'm thinking like, well, Scourge is completely wasted. Not that I was really expecting much from him. Slight spoiler: Valkyrie was pretty wasted throughout the whole movie.
Okay, that's where I have to disagree. Okay, because I thought Valkyrie was probably.
I was saying she was drunk.
Oh, you got me there. Yeah. Very good.
Wordplay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Valkyrie was fantastic.
Yeah. No. Oh no. I couldn't agree more. I really enjoy Tessa Thompson. Like, whenever she shows up in something, you know, like way back to like when she was like stuck up like rich kid in Veronica Mars, which was a show I really liked. She was in Westworld.
Was she?
I think. Wait, or am I confusing that? Wasn't she in Westworld?
No, I don't remember that. I don't think so. Wait, she was in Creed.
Creed, yeah.
This is really the only place I ever saw her before this, and that's a very different role.
Yeah.
So what I saw here, I was like, yeah, she's great. I really liked her.
Yeah, I actually kind of expected to not like her character a whole lot, because you know I didn't really know how they were going to be able to handle like the female hero. You know, whether they were going to try and do like the balance between like badass and feminine, and like whatever mix they got was just right. Like,
yeah, she was a very well written character. Her interactions with Thor, with Hulk, all great. Yeah. I really liked what was going on. Her moments with Loki. I mean, everybody in this movie is actually really good. Chris Hemsworth shows like he's great at comedy.
Yeah, this kind of worries me though, that they're now going to do like that thing where like somebody realizes, no, yeah, she was in Westworld.
Okay.
Thank you for making me. She was like the owner of the company, like the head who came in.
Oh, that was her?
Yeah.
Man, I didn't even recognize her.
Way to make me feel racist for a minute.
No.
Yeah, no.
I was not trying to do anything like that.
Yeah, no. No, like she stuck out. Like she's an incredible actress. Like I'm excited to see more of her career. I'm just kind of scrolling through, seeing. Yeah. She was in Rizzoli and Isles.
So Cate Blanchett as Hela. I mean, I think she gives a great performance.
I don't even remember her in Heroes.
Oh yeah, I don't either.
Okay, sorry. All right.
Cate Blanchett, right?
Yeah.
Her performance, I thought, was fantastic. I liked
what little.
Yeah, I liked her a lot. Like her character stood out, and it's not that she was in the movie too little. It's that she didn't really have much to do. She was only got to play off of Scourge for the majority of the movie.
Yeah, and I feel like she was in there mostly to kind of set up, eventually bringing in Thanos as her just being somebody for him to play off of, because now she's replacing the character of Death. So now she's.
Wait, do we know that's actually happening?
She
said she's the goddess of death, but that could happen. But
like, I'm pretty sure that they've said that. I think Kevin Feige said that she's going to be replacing.
I would like that idea. So let's say, Jeff Goldblum.
How great!
He was fantastic,
dude.
Yeah. I like that character a lot. It really works for this world. He's like the ruler of this planet.
Yeah,
this Sakaar.
Yeah. The collector's brother, the game master,
and he really just has this very, Jeff Goldblum personality to
Yeah,
him.
it's definitely a situation where
He's a caricature of himself, like intentionally.
Yeah, they're just like, okay, we're gonna get the extent of Ian Malcolm. Like, we're gonna have him be like the most Jeff Goldblum he can be. It was right up there with when, like, years ago. I'm sure you saw this because I know we're both fans of the show. When there was like the internet rumor going around that Jeff Goldblum died, so he went on the Colbert Report and gave his own obituary.
I don't remember that.
Oh, dude, look, we'll have to look that up.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, but yeah, anytime I think he's at his best now, when he's playing a caricature of himself, like, because I think he's just accepted, like, I'm just a quirky guy, so I'm just gonna run with it.
So, okay, what other new? Loki's always good. Like, he's doing the same stuff. Like, I liked him. He has a lot of good parts in this.
Yeah.
Korg, the Rock Man, his friend.
Yeah, arguably probably the most developed character, which says much about the ego of Taika Waititi.
I don't think he's the most developed character. I'm saying a little much.
I don't know.
He's funny. I enjoy that character.
I'd say the most developed new character.
Yeah, Valkyrie.
I don't think she was really that. I think there's still a whole lot of like there's a whole lot of like not realistic. Like, I can't think of the word. I had a long day.
Yeah.
No, I think there's a lot that they can do with Valkyrie, whereas Korg, like, I feel like I know that character. Valkyrie, I feel like by the end of this movie, there's still a lot of conflict for her, and there's still a lot of growth for her to go through. So, but no, I mean, like, definitely it was a character that Taika Waititi was just like, I'm gonna give myself something really fun to do.
Yeah, he definitely had fun with it, and it was good to have there. It was something for like a new friend for Thor, sort of.
Yeah.
And someone for him to help. Let's see, what else did we get?
Even though there was one thing. It was the first joke in the movie that actually did not land right for me. That I'm like, that's weird. That's not right. It was when like Korg was introducing himself and he made the rock paper scissors joke.
Yeah.
I'm like, why would he know that? Why would he have that reference?
Like, I didn't see it that way because I did think that, but then I was like, well, I mean, whatever. It could be. It's a simple game that could be universal.
Yeah, but anyway. I guarantee, like I feel like you could go there, and I don't know how far rock paper scissors reaches, beyond American culture, but I feel like there's probably you could go, to a starkly different culture, like. And I'm saying this blind, but maybe like Japan or something like that, or maybe
well, they definitely have it in Japanese culture. So
yeah, well, okay,
I know that for a fact.
Yeah, but I mean, like, but you know what I mean, like, it's definitely. I think it's a very American thing. I don't
know that that's true,
but I'm just saying,
like twice about it.
Yeah,
and I was like, it's probably okay, but I don't feel like the joke was great anyway.
Yeah, no. Like, and I don't think it was meant to be a great joke, but it's definitely something that took me out of it. It's like, why would they have that reference?
Yeah.
It's not like they have the universal translator in Star Trek where it's just like, oh, this is the closest thing to it. So I'm just going to say that.
All right. The movie starts off a bit strange, a bit disjointed, I felt,
with
early
the
on.
Wall Street opening? Where Thor is just like, you might be asking yourself how I got... Yeah.
That's not even what I mean.
Yeah.
It just kind of jumps around a lot early on. And then once we get to the point where Hela is introduced and then Thor gets set off to Sakaar, then things actually start to get more focused.
It definitely is very disjointed early on.
Yeah.
And they definitely just rushed through the whole Loki thing in the beginning on Asgard. I felt.
Yeah, that was did.
That was fairly rushed.
All right, let's just start doing spoilers and just saying whatever we want about it.
Okay, Thor loses an eye.
He does.
Yeah,
which is fine, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it was a nice way to tie him to give him a parallel to Odin, because the two of them were constantly at odds, and it's finally, I thought it was a nice visual representation of saying like, okay, now he's reached the point where he can be a leader. But
yeah, okay. So I have to talk about the Warriors 3.
the Warriors 2.
2? Warriors none.
Well, okay. Well, Sif wasn't there because she couldn't get off
Yeah,
a
but
blind
she's not
spot.
one of them.
The Warriors.
She's like, they're the Warriors 3 are the 3 guys, and then she's like Lady Sif.
And the rest. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, there was only 2 of them. It was just Fenrir
No,
and...
all 3 of them were there.
Were there?
Yeah, so when Hela first arrives in Asgard,
Yeah.
Hogan is there.
Okay.
And is it Hogan? No.
No.
Volstagg
Volstagg and
Fandral
Fendril.
are there.
Yeah.
Right? She immediately murders them.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's right.
Right? And
Yeah.
then Hogan is the Asian guy
Yeah.
who later she fights
Yeah.
and kills him too.
Yeah. The only one who actually, like, was given any amount of respect.
Right, yeah.
Because, yeah, Volstagg and Fendril were just not even destroyed. Like, they were just gone.
Volstagg, I think, said 1 or 2 words.
Yeah.
And Fandral, I don't think he said anything. I think
No.
if he said anything, it was like, "Arr, ah."
Nothing would have made me happier if he was like, Shazam!
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So that really bugged me that they just murdered them and killed them off. And on top
Yeah.
of that, not once does Thor ever ask about them.
Yeah, he's not...
Wonder where they are.
Like, his best friends are dead. He just doesn't care.
Yeah, apparently. And that's where the movie has a big problem for me, because it lacks heart
Yeah.
and it lacks weight.
Yeah.
You know, there are a lot of important things happening. Like this movie actually, because you told me before you thought it was filler, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's really not, because there's a lot of important events that do take place. But
but
watching the movie, it feels like none of it really matters.
yeah.
Even though, yeah, okay, so, you know, Asgard is destroyed by the end of the movie.
Yeah.
All Thor's friends are dead.
Yeah.
Thor lost an eye.
Yeah.
Thor has his lightning powers now, where he's, I guess, under control.
Which, okay, can I tell you how much that annoyed me watching this movie? And they're constantly, like, just doing this whole, like, you're the god of what? You're the god of thunder?
Right.
And it's like, no, clearly the god of lightning.
Yeah, right.
Clearly, because there's no thunder anywhere around this guy. It's clearly just, very quiet lightning.
True.
Yeah.
I
It's
give
like,
that. All right, so, okay. The Hulk fight.
I will be nitpicking so much about this movie.
There's a lot too, yeah.
Yeah. But the Hulk fight.
The Hulk fight was fantastic. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed that a lot. Thor and Hulk in the arena.
I'd say not even arguably the best scene in the movie. It felt like it was the scene that they probably were the most excited about, the scene that they probably cared about the most. They probably were like, this is going to be the trailer scene. Mm-hmm. This is the one this is what we're going to sell the movie off of. And they were right. Like, and I loved that scene.
It was really good.
I wish they put that effort into the rest of the movie. And I will say this super quick, and then we'll get back to the point.
Yeah.
I do think that the handling of the balance between the story, not the story, but like the direction, the effects, the integration of everything together, I think it speaks volumes of how good Taika Waititi is as a director. And I think this is going to be a calling card. I think it's going to get him like probably Akira and some other big box office stuff. I just hope that they don't let him near the writing. But
I don't think he wrote this at all. I mean, he probably did joke writing.
I have a feeling that he probably had some input on like this, like story and all that.
Yeah.
But
before we go on, also, I guess when we were talking about characters, I didn't mention Hulk,
mm-hmm.
and how I really like Hulk in his speaking role now.
Yeah.
And that he's been Hulk for 2 years, and he's kind of like a kid.
Yeah.
You know. He's not. He's very like childish, and
yeah.
Then also we have Banner,
mm-hmm.
and when he comes into it as well, and I like him also because
Yeah.
he's just kind of bewildered and like doesn't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, he's
like,
very
really
confused.
kind of uncomfortable with where he is, and so I like that a lot.
Yeah.
But yes, so the Hulk fight is where Thor gets his thunder power, his lightning power for the first time, and he basically wins the fight.
Oh yeah, it is. He loses only because the game master cheats.
Yeah,
because Thor, he's once he gets his car. For those of you who haven't seen the movie for some reason, still listening to a spoiler-filled podcast, Valkyrie puts like a small device like on his neck that basically keeps him like under control as a slave.
And that's exactly out of Planet Hulk. That's just how they do it.
Yeah, which is totally cool. I'm completely fine with that. But yeah, it's basically he's about to win the fight against Hulk, which I thought made a lot of sense because Hulk is just pure rage, but Thor is like a trained fighter. Like he's super strong,
right?
And he's a trained fighter. He knows how to and it shows in this fight, which I thought was amazing, that he was using the Hulk's like energy against him. It was a very well done fight, like, which really let me down about so much else in this movie, that I'm like, oh, so much thought went into this and so little thought went into other things.
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's little thought. It's just they definitely went hard on the joke aspect.
Yeah.
And there could have been more emphasis on
story.
Story, but like the characters like stopping to worry about things.
Yeah.
I'd like nobody to think about what they're going to do. Like everything is so very quick and reactioning and okay, I want to go back to the beginning of the movie.
Okay.
We start with the whole Surtur thing.
Yeah.
And it's fine. Like, of course, it's all really a joke. Like, they're making a joke out of Surtur, who's supposed to be, like, the big, huge fire demon monster who causes Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And when I think about it, I guess it's fine because, I mean, that's a terrible villain anyway.
I didn't care about that.
I was really going to care.
Yeah.
Right? So that was kind of fun. I enjoyed that. But, like, the way I was saying is disjointed. Like, it jumps from there to he goes back to Asgard, and there's that weird play going on, like and Odin's acting like all asshole and douchebaggish, and he's acting like like
Loki.
But like a king that is like doesn't really care, and he's pompous, and no one seems to really think that's strange.
Nobody really gives it a second thought. Like
and then they have this play honoring Loki's death, and that's funny because it's Matt Damon playing Loki.
Yeah,
in the play. So I like that.
Yeah.
And Thor quickly figures it out.
That
it's Loki, even though he thinks he's dead.
Yeah, that was really quick.
Really quick.
Yeah, even though I did like how he kind of used the hammer to like force.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good though. Like I liked it, and I thought while it was quick, I guess how long do you need to play that out? It's just that the way that the movie went so quickly that it does seem like it happens too quickly.
Yeah, well, and this comes to and for those who have been listening, throughout the other episodes, it goes into something that I had concerns about, that there was too much for them going into this movie that they had to kind of tie together, like the whole Loki, standing in as Odin thing, saying that Doctor Strange is going to be in the movie, and then pushing it into Planet Hulk and introducing Ragnarok and Hela. And these are all separate things that they're forcing into our movie, which I'm sure they did probably as best they could with executing all of that they wanted to do.
And that's really probably why the beginning is so disjointed.
I think this actually should have been 2 movies. Keep the same amount of jokes, split it over the course of 2 movies, and have it be, the first movie is like them searching for Odin and, like finding Hela and fighting Hela, and then have that, have it be somewhat more of a journey where Doctor Strange has to help them find Odin, because, why would Odin just be like, hey, Steve, I'm going to go hang out in Norway. If my kid comes looking for me, who I'm hiding from, just tell him where I'm at. And then, give Hela, more interest, and give me a reason to either care about her character or be afraid of her character, outside of just telling me why I should, show me why. And then have it end with them getting to Sakaar, then have the second movie being, the whole Sakaar stuff and getting back, just spread it out. Give me a reason to care about this, let me actually feel bad that the Warriors 3 died, give me the time to do that.
There's a real disconnect between, like, if you're going from Thor 2 to 3, like, if you were to watch these movies just in a row, like,
these are all very schizophrenic movies.
It's because Thor, Well, Thor 1 and 2 are sort of similar. But...
See, I would say that Thor 1, the first, is like a Western. Mm-hmm. I'd say Thor 2 is very much like a fantasy, in the way that Star Wars is a fantasy.
Okay.
And then this is just a straight up like slapstick comedy.
Yeah.
This is like, like in this a comedy in the way that like Old School is a comedy.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it is a comedy.
Yeah. And I'm not
sure is because
I'm not saying that as a bad thing. Like I love comedies,
No, and it's as an action comedy goes, it's a good action comedy movie.
Yeah.
It's just when you're someone who like me who really likes the MCU and loves the thread work between all the movies.
Yeah.
And that even though there's jokes in it, there's always a certain seriousness to it. Even with Guardians of the Galaxy, like that's a really funny movie, but there's a lot of serious, touching moments.
Yeah,
a lot of serious, heartfelt character moments. Characters taking things very seriously, and that doesn't really ever happen in this movie.
Yeah.
And the thing I wanted to get to, the disconnect between Thor 2 is that it's a really big deal in Thor 2 when Thor's mother dies.
Yeah.
Right? Like the death of Frigga, and that's like really serious and impactful. And even Thor thinking that Loki's dead was also serious.
Yeah.
And then you go to this movie where, all of his friends die, and literally almost any soldier in Asgard, every one of them is dead.
Yeah.
And it's just the common folk left, and it's like not a second is left to think about that and to mourn that.
Yeah.
To worry about that.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, it was. It's just a strange thing. Like it does not feel like part of the same series. And I'll say, and
it was a long time ago, so like that's not necessarily the problem. It's just that.
But I'd also say like, because keeping it in the MCU, Iron Man 3 feels very different from Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 1 are very similar. Like they hit a lot of the same beats. It's
yeah, you're right.
But Iron Man 3 feels it's a very different movie, but it definitely feels like it's part of the same series.
Right.
Same thing with the Captain America movies. They're all very different movies. You have a war movie, you have like a spy movie, you have I don't even know like a political thriller kind of for the third one. All very different movies, but they feel like they're the same series. Mm-hmm. You can watch all of them and and you're just like, even though they're like some different directors, you can watch them and just be like, okay, but I understand that this is the same continuity and all that. This isn't that. Mm-hmm. And that was very jarring.
It is, yeah. And now I haven't watched those movies recently.
Yeah.
But it's still jarring from the rest of the MCU.
Yeah.
Right, because okay, let me tell you the joke that I wanted to point out that like really bothered me. Mm-hmm. Because okay, it's when they're in the end, they're in Asgard and fighting everything, and Tessa Thompson, Valkyrie, hasn't yet figured out who Bruce Banner is, right?
Yeah. Oh, I know what you're gonna say.
Which is also great when she's like, I feel like I know you, and he's like, yeah, so do I.
Yeah,
that's great because like her and Hulk had this like relationship. And they were like kind of playful. Hulk liked her.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, that's great. I really like that. That worked really well. But so then he jumps out of the ship, right?
Very much mimicking, the scene from the end of Incredible Hulk.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So he jumps out of the ship to go fight Fenrir, the big giant dog.
Yeah.
And he obviously knows he's going to turn into the Hulk and he'll be able to fight it. But he falls and just like hits the ground.
Head first.
Yeah, and just like looks like he's dead.
Yeah.
And then they kind of like pause on it for a moment.
Yeah.
And then the dog goes to attack.
Yeah.
And then Hulk is grabbing him from behind.
Yeah.
And fighting him.
Yeah.
And I was like, ugh. I'm like, I knew something was going to be a joke there.
Yeah.
But what I wanted, and it could have been like a slight joke, but they basically deprived me of that really cool badass moment of him jumping out of it and turning into the Hulk either in midair or hitting the ground and immediately like turning into the Hulk. Like we didn't see him turn into the Hulk.
Yeah. And I think, and I honestly think that because that's what I wanted too. Like we're on the same page on that.
Because it would have
but
mirrored the great moment
from
in
Avengers
when we see him turn into the Hulk as he's mid punching this thing. It's phenomenal.
Because I mean, like, who still doesn't even know, like, what fan of the MCU doesn't even know the line? Like, he's like, "That's my secret. I'm always angry," and then he literally just turns. Like Banner is throwing a punch and the Hulk connects it. Like It's such a cool scene.
Fantastic.
But I will say though, if they did that, I would be sitting here complaining about how they just mimicked that from the Avengers. Like I honestly don't think there's anything that they could have done in that scene that like I wouldn't have been annoyed with, and I don't know why. Because I really like what they've done with the Hulk. I really, not just in this, just in the MCU as a whole.
Yeah.
But I honestly don't know what they could have done to like please me with that.
I only want a slight difference would have been that he jumps out, he falls, like face plants.
Yeah.
And then immediately turns into the Hulk. We see him on the floor as like Branner, like, he's all banged up, and then he grows into the Hulk, and the Hulk would get up and be like, oh man, and he's like, and he attacks, Yeah.
It
would have been much better.
Or he's like transforming like as he's getting up. Maybe.
Yeah, something like that. Anything.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Or even if they did something like, I don't know, he jumps out and I don't know. As I'm saying this out loud, it sounds stupid, but I'm gonna say it just because. Like he jumps out and then like the dog catches him in his mouth like a rag doll, and like just and just shakes like once or twice, and then the Hulk just like grabs it and flips it from the head.
Yeah.
Like I mean. Like I said, as I'm saying it doesn't sound good. I would have been really mad if they did that, because that's super cheesy. But I had to say those words. You're welcome, America.
So I really liked, when Hulk, in the end, once they Thor unleashes Surtur to stop Hela, because they all realize, like, we can't stop her. She's too powerful.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
It was a good resolution.
Mm-hmm.
But then Hulk like goes to attack Surtur.
Yeah.
They're like, no.
No.
It's the one time we don't want you to smash.
Yeah.
And actually, there's a ton of callbacks to different movies.
Yeah.
Right? The whole, we don't smash this time.
Yeah.
Which is a callback to Avengers 1. There was the whole, and this joke happened several times. The whole,
the sun's getting...
Yeah, sun's getting real low.
That got so annoying really fast.
It was really good when it
first time.
like 2 times maybe. The last time or so, I was like, all right, man.
It's like, you're still doing this?
Yeah.
Like, because that first time it's really funny when like Thor's he's trying to calm down the Hulk. Yeah. He's like, the sun's getting real low, big guy. I won't let you hurt anyone else. I won't let anyone hurt you. And they're reaching out, and it's one of those things where it's like exactly what's going to happen, and it's even funnier because what's going to happen. And then it's literally just again another callback to the Avengers, beautifully.
Yeah.
Where Hulk then grabs Thor by the legs and he's slamming him into the ground like the rag doll. And Loki's just like jumps up. He's like, yes, that's how that feels.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
So like,
that was great. That's exactly what that movie should.
Really good moments. Like,
yeah,
I like a lot of things in this movie, but like as a whole movie, like I can't say it's great because it's missing certain things and it moves too erratically.
I think it's missing a lot of connective tissue. Very much like how Doctor Strange was moving around, like, the Sanctum. Like,
yeah, that was really strange. Like, he did it once, and I'm like, all right. But then, like, he kept, like, kind of just teleporting them around the room.
Yeah.
Different places. Really strange.
Yeah. It was just kind of wonky.
I did like that he got rid of Loki immediately.
Oh, yeah.
And then when he brings him back, he's like, I've been falling
for a half hour.
Yeah, so good.
That was awesome.
And then him and Loki and Doctor Strange had that good moment where
Loki has the daggers.
Yeah.
And, and he just puts moves the portal like to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good. I like that.
Yeah.
I really liked once Hulk turns into Banner the first time, and that was a good moment too, because that's another callback to Avengers. We got like Black Widow's message to Hulk that I guess he never really even saw until now, and that's what changes him back into Banner.
Yeah,
and then as Banner, he's like, I don't even know what's happened. Like, it's 2 years has passed and he has no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
And the description, he's like, when I'm the Hulk, I sort of know what's happening.
Yeah.
But now this time was different. Like it's like I was gone completely, and
Yeah.
and I didn't even exist. I'm like, he's totally freaked out that he's on this other planet and he doesn't know what's gone on for so long.
Yeah, and he has the fear that if he ever turns back into the Hulk again, he's not sure if he's ever going to be able to turn back.
Yeah.
You know,
which they could have played better later, you know, it's like a sacrifice for him to make that choice to try to turn into the Hulk,
and
but then they make a joke.
They completely trivialized it.
Right.
You know, which really disappointed me, and I think that's a big part of why I didn't like that joke, is because he's essentially saying, like, I have no connection to these people outside of knowing Thor, which I only really do tangentially, and I'm going to potentially sacrifice my humanity, like, to save these people, right. And then they have him literally fall on his face. Yeah. And that was dopey. Like, I did not like that.
Yeah.
I think the biggest part that a lot of people liked about this movie is I think they were blinded by how funny it was, because it is a funny movie, you know, and confusing that with it being like a good story. And that's, right. I think that's why it's getting reviewed so high now. I think I'd like to see the reviews now versus maybe like 6 months or a year from now, when people are going back to it, you know, and giving it a second or third watch, you know, in some time, yeah. And, you know, and just say like, oh yeah, I guess, you know, now that the novelty is worn off,
that could go either way though, because I feel like I need to watch it a second time and I might feel differently. Kind of like with Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Yeah.
Like, I had my expectations set so high that I was like slightly disappointed, but then when I saw it again, I was like, no, I actually really like Guardians of the Galaxy 2 a lot.
Yeah. Well, if you remember, I wasn't a huge fan of the first Guardians of the Galaxy. I really enjoyed number 2 more, or volume 2 more. And that's kind of what I was hoping this was going to be, that it was going to be that mix of, you know, heart for the family and, you know, comedy with the action. Because I think Guardians of the Galaxy is, like, Ant-Man is still my favorite MCU movie, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I love Ant-Man too.
Yeah.
That's great.
But I think Guardians of the Galaxy 2 it's the movie that I would have wanted to have made if they were like, hey, Brian, make an MCU movie. It's not the one that I think I would have, but having that right mix of everything that I kind of want in a movie, I think I have the most respect for Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and that's what I was hoping this was going to be, and it wasn't.
Yeah. So, like, if I had to place this movie in the MCU,
yeah,
you know, it's gonna be below a lot of of course, all the big ones. You know, yeah.
Well, I told you last week where
everyone's saying it's the best Thor movie. I don't know if I could say that definitively.
See, I've said that it's the best Thor movie, but I also said that that's a very low bar.
Yeah, but
I do enjoy the first one.
Yeah, I like the first Thor movie probably better than this. And now this movie, the big downside to the first Thor movie is the action doesn't really hold up. There's not a lot in there.
Yeah.
And this movie is incredible action. And
yeah.
That's great. But the story and the characters in the build-up, you know, in the first movie, you know, the learning about the world, his world, Asgard, and then what his character arc that he goes through really is really good in the first movie.
Yeah.
So I would probably give the slight edge to the first movie. And, you know, this movie's Thor Ragnarok's probably around a 7 or so if I had to rate it, you know, somewhere at a 10.
Yeah, I think
in
that's
that
fair.
range.
Yeah.
You know, it's good, but it's not exceptional. It's not really up there.
Well, like, it's like, you know, when you asked me last time we were hanging out, you know, where I would rank it, I said, like, square in the middle. And I stand by that.
Yeah, and that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's in the middle there. It's in the middle of that pack.
Yeah, which I think that's a good place to be.
Yeah.
You know, like, middle is, like, very solid. It's where I graduated my class in high school. Square in the middle.
I mean, at the very least, you know, I mean,
was,
some people really love this movie. So, you know, Marvel has still got it. You know, they're still doing it. And they're not making movies that are worse than anything they've done before.
I mean, they haven't...
As far as, like, the worst of the bunch. Like, nothing has hit the bottom or anywhere near it.
They definitely haven't hit their Cars 2 yet.
Yeah, right.
Which, I mean, like, that, you know, and I say that jokingly because, you know, I have a lot of love for Pixar. You know, but Cars 2 was definitely a turning point for me where I'm like, this is not the normal Pixar movie. Mm-hmm. Not a cash grab. It's still decent, but it's not, you know, and Marvel hasn't hit that yet. and I think that's very commendable.
Yeah. As far as our villain ranking goes, like Hela, where do we put her?
Oh man, I feel like we need another movie, like, because I'd probably put her like, oh man,
Is she like,
wait.
she looks great actor, good personality. She's a big threat, right? She hits all our points, but I have to put her kind of low because she's very much like this is an insult to the character, but she's like Malekith from Thor 2.
Yeah.
Like with just a better personality. Like, she doesn't have an interesting motivation. And it's actually almost exactly the same as Malekith, right? He an unknown, previously forgotten type of threat that's
she's
very powerful.
She's very cookie cutter.
Yeah, that basically wants to destroy everything because she's been wronged previously.
Yeah.
That's the same as Malekith. The same way they played it. It's just she's just a better actress or just a better out there character. Like and she doesn't. As she's big of a threat, but the movie doesn't really have to see any threat to it because all the minor Asgardian people die, but everyone who's significant is just fine. They're able to fight her. Valkyrie, Hulk, Loki, and Thor are all fighting her, and they're all taking hits. Thor loses an eye and everything, but they're all fine out of it.
Okay, so really quick, because I just pulled up our villain ranking.
Yeah.
My scores for it.
Oh, good.
And I just ranked it really quick. Appearance, I gave her an 8. Personality, I gave her a 4.
Really, that low?
Yeah, there was nothing there.
I mean, like she has a lot of personality, but I guess there's not a lot of story behind it.
I didn't feel like I got any personality out of her. I just, I thought the personality was very cookie cutter. Threat, I gave her an 8.
Okay.
Because I thought, she was not only like a personal threat but a global threat.
Right.
Or Asgardian threat. Because it's not really a globe. It's just kind of
whatever it is.
What it is? Yeah, it's just like a weird like floating island thing somewhere. But yeah, they gave her a 20. So that, for me, that tied her with like Yellow Jacket and Ronan.
Which I like Yellow Jacket better. And Ronan is
surprisingly Sandman too.
Ronan's very similar. He's the same type of villain.
Caecilius. So yeah, I think that's a very fair ranking for my view of her.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna.
She's definitely not going to make people change the villain narrative for Marvel, which
the one thing
is nonsense, and I don't believe in that.
Yeah. Because
I think most of the villains are actually very good for their movie, while some are underutilized, but most of them are good foils for the movie. Whereas in this one, it's fine, but it doesn't actually have any weight to it.
Yeah. The one thing I will say regarding like the appearance, I really did not like, and I got really tired very quickly in the trailers, not even in the movie, of the effect of her like turning her hair into like the antler.
I mean, it's cool, but yeah,
maybe the first time, but yeah, she does it a lot, and also it's not a very well done. Like it's a well executed effect, but it's not. I don't know. It's not. It's just. It seems like it's a poorly conceived because it's essentially her moving her hands like past her head and then out, and there's no reason for me to actually like understand or believe why these antlers are growing out. It's not like.
Well, it's the same way she's having swords and knives fly out of her body.
But at least those, those at least looked like they were protruding like organically. Like there was like a growth there. Whereas this, it's literally just like antlers.
Yeah.
It's a nitpick, but I said I would do.
It's like she's turning her hair into it almost.
But it wasn't though.
Not,
it's it would have been better if there was like a flow to it and then it froze into that. They could have done something really cool. I feel like they just needed to just be like, hey, effects department, you guys are all artists. Give me an idea of, show me something really cool. Not like, I don't know, we did this in a storyboard. So I don't know, do that.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to trivialize any effort anyone put in.
Yeah. And as far as visuals go and like, I'd
say they were very like average for the MCU. It's a pretty movie.
There's some really good stuff, but yeah, there's a lot going on. It's hard to really focus on things, and the city in Sakaar is very like garbagey. Like,
yeah,
it's just like this mix of weird architecture, and like it doesn't seem to make much sense.
See, I thought it did make sense for Sakaar, because it seems like Sakaar is basically the garbage dump.
Well, it makes sense, yeah.
It makes sense, yeah. But... So that didn't bother me. That didn't seem disjointed. I don't know. I thought that the effects and everything was fairly just average for.
I think Hulk looked amazing now. It looks even better. Like the capture.
You're just glad that you saw his butt.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Another hilarious moment actually where Thor like sees his junk and he's just like, now that's in my head. It's like,
yeah. But see, actually what I enjoyed about that, and this is like a an aspect that like nobody should be looking at it, but the first time that I saw the Ang Lee Hulk movie, a friend of mine somebody leaked a work print of it online, and a buddy of mine downloaded it, and like at his graduation party he was like, hey, watch the movie. So we're watching it, but they didn't finish like the all the effects, so anytime you saw the Hulk was just naked. So it really like took me back to like my buddy's like graduation party. Like, it's like he's celebrating getting a master's, and we're literally just watching naked Hulk fighting dogs. So that kind of took me back to that. I was like, yeah, it's completely unintentional, but I'm enjoying the nostalgia. Thank you.
Yeah. Asgard is like the same thing we've always seen of Asgard. Like, we don't seem to see any more of Asgard than we ever do. Like, yeah, I guess there's Heimdall, who we never mentioned yet, wherever he had all the people he was protecting.
Yeah.
He has really very little to do in this movie.
Yeah.
I didn't even talk about Scourge. I know we're like all over the place right now because we feel like we're winding it down. But I did want to mention about Scourge, who...
So wasted.
He's fine. Like, at first I liked him a lot.
I never got to a point where I cared about him.
Well, no,
I thought they wasted Karl Urban.
I liked him in that, like, in the beginning, he's trying to impress the girls, and he's like, oh, I got all this stuff. Oh, I got these guns, Yeah. And they got the joke there with the names of them.
Which, one thing really quick, did you read that Taika Waititi actually put a very small Easter egg to Green Lantern in that scene?
No, I didn't know that.
Because for those who don't know, he played Hal Jordan's friend Tom in Green Lantern, and apparently either in that movie or while he was making the movie, as a joke, he bought a shake weight. So so he brought that in, and that was in like Scourge's pile of like junk from Earth.
Well, he was using it.
The shake weight. Yeah. So like that was like his tie into the Green Lantern. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I appreciate that. It's all the universes crossed together.
Yeah.
Which also goes to show how talented all the people from Green Lantern were.
Yeah.
It was, and even though like I unapologetically love that movie because I wanted to watch a Green Lantern movie, I saw a Green Lantern movie. It just shows that it doesn't matter how much talent you throw at a movie, like poor execution is poor execution.
Yeah. So with Scourge,
No, I want to talk about Green Lantern more. No, of course, Scourge.
I wanted him to be a bad guy, and the whole movie he's just like, I don't know. Like, he's just like, he's going along with Hela because basically there's no
his
real
name
choice.
is Scourge. Why would you think he would be a bad guy?
Yeah. But he sort of hesitates to do anything bad all the time.
Yeah.
And then in the end, he has the turnaround where he saves people and then dies. But I'm like, I wish he would just went bad completely. And then maybe in the end, okay, he decides to save some Asgardians.
Yeah.
And dies. That's fine. But like, he was never bad, and it's fine. Fine, make him a bad guy. Like, it's okay.
He's very much like Iago from Aladdin. Not inherently bad, just follows whoever is going to protect him the most.
I can go with that.
Whether it's Jafar or Aladdin.
Yeah.
But
and Karl Urban's fine. Like, he's good in the role, but again, there's not a lot for him to do.
And I really enjoy Karl Urban. So I was kind of bummed that they're like, "Hey, Bones, we're gonna throw you away. You okay with that?" He was like, "I don't know. Is your money green?"
basically. But you know, the movie, it's not a huge problem because, again, I mean, it's cool when he finally uses the guns and he's shooting everybody and he's going nuts. I like that. But, you know, the stars of the movie are Thor, Hulk, Valkyrie, Loki. Like, those are the characters who rightfully got their due in this movie. So, like, if you're, you know, you got the best of the characters that you needed to get. So that's really what the movie did very well. And yeah, it's not perfect, but it's got problems. I don't want to check it out again to see if I feel differently. But it's an enjoyable movie. It's a great action comedy. You'll probably like it if that's what your thing is. Yeah. Most people will probably like this movie, I would say.
Yeah, you know, and you have every right to. There's a lot to like about the movie, and if you just don't look too far into it, you probably won't find a whole lot to not like. But you know, just with my sensibilities, you know, with my preference being, you know, on story and stuff like that, that's where it kind of lost me a little. But I mean, forever disjointed this is, there's so much more we could probably talk about, but you know, it'd be just meandering.
Yeah, I think we're at that point.
Yeah, but I mean, definitely, you know, it's definitely worth checking out if you like comedy, if you like action, if you like comic books, if you just, I don't know, like it's a movie that I would recommend to most people unless they're like, I like a romantic comedy, you know, like that.
Then go see Deadpool.
Yeah, go see Deadpool.
So I think we'd bring it to a close here.
Yeah.
This has been an interesting one.
Yeah. Not nearly structured.
The last thing I want to say is that it's funny that now I actually think that Justice League has a chance to be better than this.
I mean, there actually is a,
or at least I might like it more. Which, look, that's a long shot, but I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong because, dude, like Justice League, on paper, it could have the visuals of Zack Snyder, the writing and character work of Joss Whedon, the acting talent of Ben Affleck, and J.K. Simmons in however big of a role he is.
Is Ben Affleck really that good of an actor?
I think he's a better director than an actor, but yeah, I mean, like I enjoy him.
Let's save that question for next time.
No, let's get into that. Our 3-part series.
All right. This has been Who Watches, Superhero's Journey podcast special. Review for Thor Ragnarok. My name is Carl Freemerman.
I'm Brian Shores,
the co-host.
You got to say my name this time.
You can find us on Twitter at Superhero Journey, no E in super, and write to us email at thesuperheroesjourney@gmail.com, where heroes is plural, not possessive.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks.